All my life, I was fighting against being seen. It was just a small bag and a big dream, $500 in my pocket. There's a lot of hustle in us.
Funniest cultural misunderstanding.
You know Michelle Obama. Can I get a visa now? I'm like, no, I don't know her. I just wanted to build something I can call my own.
The biggest sacrifice that you did by doing this leap of faith?
Leaving home. It just felt like it was my calling.
Was there any moment that you thought, okay, the business might fail?
Oh God, yes, of course. The first 5 years, I don't even feel like they work for me because we are one. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. I think helping people just brings us to the core of what humanity is all about.
America isn't a dream, it's a decision. And not everyone is brave enough to make it. Americans by choice.
Welcome to Americans by Choice, a YouTube show about immigrants who came to United States. Today I have a very special guest, Souad Dreyfus, and she built for a couple decades now. She was helping hundreds of people build families. She owns a company called Open Arms. It's a surrogacy and egg donation firm.
Correct.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
So your story started long ago in Morocco, right?
Yes.
How many years? 20?
More than that, it was 1998.
I want to ask you, we're just starting out. This is episode number 5, and we would like to explore more fascinating stories like the one that you're listening right now. And it would be incredibly helpful to us if you could like, comment, share, send it to somebody. And also maybe even send us the guest who you know that has a fascinating stories like the ones that you're hearing now. We would really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go back to that moment, that day in 1998 when you were in the airport. What was going through your head?
I don't think much was going through my head. Otherwise, I would have gone back, you know. It was just a small bag and a big dream, $500 in my pocket, and then off to New York City I was going. I got my visa through the International Lottery visa. I don't know the program, so the odds are
really.
Yeah.
So you played
I played. I wasn't even planning on playing.
Oh my God, I have chill bumps.
I literally was not even planning. I didn't know anything about it. So I was in a lecture. I was in college and finished a lecture, and I went to my professor, like the nerd I am, and I had a question after the lecture, and he's like, "Okay, give me a minute. I'm filling up my application to go to the States." I'm like, "Okay, I'll wait." So then I asked my question, and he goes, "Did you ever play these?" I'm like, "No, in America, no." I don't even speak the language. It's too far. And he said, well, take a stab at it. Here's the announcement and, try it. So I took it, sat on it for a couple of days. And I'm like, well, what I would lose? Let's go ahead and do it. I even had to hire somebody to answer all the questions
because it was
properly,
all in English.
Because only in English. So I sent it and I completely forgot about it. And months later, I've gotten, okay, you passed the first phase. I'm like, the first phase of what? What's happening? And they're like, now we need you to do A, B, and C. And all of a sudden it became real. And there was a series of elimination process. So the fact that you won the first round doesn't mean that you're going to be selected the second time and then the third time. And then it was like, come back and grab your visa. And so I got my visa and I was like, okay, I think this is happening. And then I had to break the news to my dad and tell him that I'm about to leave. And, that's a whole other story because, dad was very protective of me as the first female. I had 2 older brothers and I had a curfew.
So what was his reaction?
It was a no. Technically, it was not a no. It was a complete silence. And that's even worse. Like, just tell me it's a yes or a no. So he was trying to wrap his head around how I did all of this on my own. And I had to minimize it so it doesn't look as big. I'm like, it's an opportunity. And I just sent the paperwork and I didn't think it will take and it took. So I need to leave. And, to give you an idea, like when I was in college, I wanted to study law and law required me to be in a different city. It was almost like if you said, Miami. And if we are here in Tampa and Miami, and my dad said that's too far. So pick another major where you're close to home. So I I had to pick a different. So imagine that happens with him, and then you're like, well, maybe America is not such a bad idea.
What was your expectation at the time when you arrived?
When I set my mind to leave and come to America, the biggest thing for me was opportunity and independence, especially financial one. I just wanted to build something I can call my own. I was always in the shadows of my older brothers, of my father, and I just want to step forward and claim everything I am. And I just felt like the biggest step towards that is leaving home. Okay, I'm here. Let's do it.
The biggest sacrifice that you did by doing this leap of faith?
Leaving home. Home is always home. So not being close to my mom, my family.
Did anybody around you before you left thought you were making a mistake?
I don't think they thought I was making a mistake. I thought they were worried for me.
What did you do when you arrived to New York City?
I had met someone at the hotel I was staying in Morocco while I was waiting for my visa. And that person was on his way to America. He lived here in Pennsylvania. Hey, do you have a minute? I'm going to America. I know no one. I hear you live there and you're part Moroccan. Have mercy, help. And he looked at me and he said, I think you're better off staying here. And I said, well, thank you for nothing. I'm going anyway. Bye. And he literally got in his taxi and came back and he said, here's my number. If you make it, call me. On the plane, I was next to this older couple that was living closer to Pennsylvania. And this lady was just like bored. It's 7-hour flight. So we were talking and I had my translator. And she said, okay, I'm going to write some words for you, some sentences, and just go to a law enforcement officer. I went to the immigration services and was waiting to get through the process. And about 30 minutes later, I see her. She's like, I couldn't leave. I could not leave. My husband is outside. He's yelling. My friend is here to pick us up. So we're going to wait for you. I finished my interview and I walked out. The husband was mad. It was like, I don't know who this woman is, who you're taking home.
So it's like you had the angels,
Angels throughout. She was invited to my wedding, by the way. And the next day, her husband took me to a bus station. And then I was with my friend for a few days until he found me a nanny job. And the rest was history. I nannied and went to school, and I nannied and I went to school.
Oh, this is like some serious guts.
It's like a little movie. $500. How dumb. How cute and how dumb. It's like, okay.
What turned out to be the biggest myth about what you
About America?
Yeah.
That it's easy. It is not easy. People are like, oh, you go to America and it's going to happen. You can grab it from the trees. They're right there.
So what do you think, what was like truth? What do you think that's actually?
That the land of opportunity is here. That if you work hard enough, it's bound to happen.
So you still believe American dream exists?
Absolutely. I think not because the success is easy, but because the opportunity still exists. It's not easy, but if you want it and you go for it, it's there for you. There were moments of doubts, obviously, right? And the challenges were, number one, learning the language. Like, how dare you come to a country you don't speak the language? So that was the biggest challenge, learning the language.
Wow.
Then immersing in the culture, that was completely different. Culture is very, very different. So I had to adjust into what's going to become home for me.
What was the hardest or the funniest cultural adjustment? Something that you thought was...
What I guess one of the things that I still chuckle is like when people like, we should get together. We should get together. Like, oh my God, I loved being around you. You're amazing. We should get together. It's just really a polite statement. There is no such a thing in Morocco. If you tell someone we should get together,
you start preparing
tomorrow,
food.
they're there. They're knocking on your door. You're like, I saw you yesterday at the market. Here I am. And you're like, it really, you walk that walk here. It's a lot of polite statements that nothing may come of it. So if somebody says we should get together, okay, we'll get together. When? So now when I really love someone, like if we really connect, I'm like, get me on your calendar now. We need to, because this whole we should do it, and it's never done because schedules are just so busy. And so that was interesting. Like, people don't really mean a lot of what they say.
Like to be an immigrant,
Yeah.
or to be a woman, and decided to open a business. Like, how did that transition happen?
That's a decision I had to make early on. You can cry, you can, have a meltdown, you pick yourself back up, because going back is not happening. Now, being a woman and being an immigrant on top of it and being a business owner, those were not easy to overcome. A lot of people did not take me seriously. So you had to earn that respect far more than a man would have.
To work twice as hard.
Yeah, to take me seriously. It's not just a pretty face and a cute accent. There's more depth to us. There's a lot of hustle in us. You know what I mean? And I just needed people to see beyond like what you think I am. So yeah, definitely worked harder than most.
So how did you step into that business that you are running now for 23 years? This is so impressive, girl.
Thank you. A lot of just fate. Things just happened. That's a whole nother story, because I never knew anything about infertility or how to get into the business. But I was working at a hospital while going to school, and a fertility specialist stopped by, and, I served him. And I guess he just like really enjoyed my personality and offered me a job on the spot. Worked for him for about 3 years and outgrew the practice, and decided, I just want to do something outside of the clinical side of infertility, where you really can hold space for people that are going through it, and started Open Arms in 2003.
Do you remember your first client?
Oh my God, that was a disaster. And why wouldn't it be a disaster, right? Of course I remember. It was a donor cycle, and she had seen an egg donor in my database, and everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong in that journey. But that's the price you pay when you start a business. Learning, making a mistake,
And you so far helped like hundreds of families, build them, and not in the United States and beyond.
Overseas,
right?
as well.
There's a lot of celebrities that you work internationally.
They're just people like us, and their struggles are the same. They come with a lot of agreements, but at the end of the day, they just want the family that we all want. So, but yeah.
It's such a meaningful and such an emotional part of business. I cannot even think of any type of business that would be, it's such a fine line.
Of course, leave it to me to pick the most emotional line of business. I'm like, oh, what can I do? I want to do this, So, you're really managing the most important things in people's lives. It just felt like it was my calling.
What was your most expensive mistake as a business owner, as an entrepreneur?
The biggest one is trusting the wrong people when it comes to staff, for sure, or vendors or professionals that you align with. And second one, if I have to name another, would be not making the difficult decisions quick enough. I sit and I wonder, and is it the right decision? Is it not? It's hard. I don't want to do it. Just do it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you more to linger in a yes or no. Like, fire that person if you don't feel they're the right person. Let go of that client if you don't feel like they fit you right. Just make that decision. We call it eat your frog. Like, eat the frog. Nobody wants to eat the frog. It's the most difficult task. You just keep pushing aside and not want.
They say fire quick, hire slowly.
Yes. And maybe more like delegating, because of the lack of trust, I did everything myself, and it's hard. It's hard to do it all by yourself.
How do you find motivation for other people?
I just look for care and empathy. I want someone that's driven. I have some, that's driven by our mission. It has to be more. And I think I'm so fortunate now that I have an amazing group of ladies that work with me. I don't even feel like they work for me, because we are one. And they make me a better leader, and I hope I show up for them the way they need me all the time. That's the biggest thing now. I have Yanette that has been with me for 7 years, and I have Lilia that has been with me for 5 years, and I have surrogate mothers that, is now working for me.
Really?
With me. Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. Somebody that did surrogacy and working now as a journey coordinator. So I'm very blessed with the team I have. But it took a long time to get here.
Was there any moment that you thought, okay, the business might fail?
Oh God, yes, of course, of course. The first 5 years, the biggest challenge for my business was 2020, was COVID. COVID shook the industry big time. The travel ban hurt my business quite a bit. Had a lot of clients internationally that they were not sure they want to start a journey. Their surrogates were pregnant. They were not able to come to the country for the birth.
What is the biggest advice that you received?
I guess American sayings too that I disagree with, but it's like fake it till you make it. I would never assume to have all the answers. I would never fake it. I would sit with you, give you what I know, and then I would say, pin it, let me look into it, find out more, especially in my business, leading people without being honest or transparent can be
detrimental. Yes.
So I would never fake it till I make it. It's just make it, and share what I know, and really that's it. But that's an advice I don't like. If I like you, you'll see. If I don't like you, you're gonna see it, and it's good and bad, because it's how I am.
Do you remember the most difficult conversation you had with a client?
I think any conversation around loss is a tough conversation. So if I have to talk to a client about a miscarriage or a failed embryo transfer, or I've had a stillbirth, you had a full-on pregnancy and then the baby doesn't make it, those are horrible conversations.
So that how often does that happen?
It doesn't happen often, but it's part of the business. I've had a loss of a partner. A couple will come to me together and then one of them would pass mid-process. Oh, wow. And then I have to, how do you glue it back together? That was and you find a way.
What do you do besides running the business? Not to bring that pain home?
Emotionally, this is exhausting. I can't do it. I can't deliver the bad news. I fall apart with the parents. It is hard. So you tell people, hold that boundary. Mm-hmm. Can you ever disconnect from it? I don't think so. But I learned through the years to just okay, I'll take care of it tomorrow. I'll manage it tomorrow. Now I need to be here for myself, here for my family. Step back a little bit, fill up your cup, and show up to them the way you need to. You can never stop caring deeply for your clients, but you have to learn to also take care of you. I think helping people just brings us to the core of what humanity is all about.
Did you went back to Morocco after you came?
Yes.
So what did your friends and family thought after, or just what did they think about your life and what you made of your life?
No, I think they're very proud. Not everybody, agree with my choices, but that's okay. The people that matter are very proud. I think my mom is over the moon proud of me, and that's a big deal. I think my brothers are, because, it was always your brothers are better. I became the first one to leave the country. I became the first one. Well, before even I left the country, I was the first one to make it to college, because, my brothers did not make it that far. I was the first one to leave the country. I was the first one to support my family financially. And I take great pride in that, because all my life I was fighting against being seen. You're gonna get married and somebody's gonna take care of you. Guess who's taking care of who now? Guess who's taking care? I just didn't want that. That was not for me.
You mentioned to me you had this picture with Michelle Obama, right?
Yes. So I met Michelle Obama when she was campaigning here for her husband's second term. And I had that picture, and the minute I posted it, it was like, so Michelle Obama. So can I get a visa now? I'm like, no, I don't know her. I met her, yes, but I don't know her. But there's that oh my God, you really made it. You actually met the first lady. That's a big deal.
Funny cultural moments, which I'm sure you have a lot. And just what do you think is, still is the funniest cultural
I think
misunderstanding.
I think culturally, I still am in awe of how independent Americans are. They just
Meaning?
stand alone. Family in Morocco is very involved in everything and anything. There's always family around. Somebody's knocking, somebody's, shared meals, or like decisions are made collectively as a family, like just very family centered, right? That's not America.
So how do you raise your family, or you have grown up kids? Obviously being Moroccan and understanding the value of that family circles, but at the same time, being here and there.
It's a
here.
good balance. They know they have a crazy Moroccan mom. So I demand my hugs. I demand my kisses, very much affectionate. My daughter is 21. She's already in FSU in Tallahassee, but she comes home quite often. And home is everything for her. My son is 19 and is like, by the time I'm 18, I'm out. I'm like, out where, dude? Like, go upstairs. It's okay. So I always tell them, they see me with my mom. My grandma was still with us. Like, we're all like my mom, my grandma, my brother, they're all in one home. So they see that. They see the family dynamic. So, I keep it alive.
When you started your journey here, what did success meant for you then versus what does that now after so many years being here?
I think initially success, again, is tied to financial freedom. But now it's tied to impact. I want to build something bigger than myself. Before it was, I want a future that I can feel secure in and, grounded in. But now it's more, whose life can I touch and what impact can I make and what community can I show up for? Who can I lift up? It's really, it's beyond myself. I think that's success for me now.
Oh, that's beautiful. I feel related to that. Yeah. People ask me, so who is the target audience, here for this podcast? I think the target audience is that person, is that girl in Morocco who is 14 years old. I wanted to ask you to kind of like play this role. If imagine there's somebody in YouTube watching this YouTube channel, and that's you at 14. Can you
make me cry? Okay, so I would say trust yourself. The road is going to be harder than you ever imagined, but the rewards are incredible. Every obstacle, every challenge, every setback is just going to groom you and shape the woman you become. Very proud of. So keep going, and you did it.
That's beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh my God, this was so much fun. My name is Souad Dreyfus. I am Moroccan American and American by choice.
America isn't a dream, it's a decision. And not everyone is brave enough to make it. Americans by choice.
Continue. Creatively driven. Focused on results. Digital marketing agency.